Hi, in this tutorial I will be showing you how to add a trigger zone to your level which you can use to open up any number of doors or basically any door you want in your level. So what I'm going to do first is open up our base level here in chapter 3. And once we have this open, what I want to do, as always, is paint some door segments. So I'm going to click on our segments tab, add new segment, and basically what I'm looking for is any door with the word remote underneath. By default, Sci-Fi and World War II both have them. I'm going to use this control room door just to keep with the theme. So I'm going to say OK, and it shows up in our library now. So when I left click, I'm going to paint two door segments. Now what I want to do, of course, is name each of these door segments a unique name because I want to use two trigger zones. You can use one trigger zone to open both doors, and how you do that is you just keep the two door names the same. So if I was to name the first door door 1, I would also name the second door door 1. So let's enter our editing mode by pressing N, or go up here and clicking on entity editing mode here. What I'm going to do is hover over our first door and right click, and yet again I'm just going to click on the name and change it to door number 1. I'm going to say apply changes, and with our second door I'm going to right click and change this to say door number 2. I'm going to apply changes as well. Now what I want to do is add two trigger zones, and how we do this is in our library window we click on marker. This is where you're going to find all the lights in the different zones. So underneath at the very bottom you'll see we have a trigger zone, and what I'm going to do is add basically one trigger zone right in front of the player and one trigger zone just off to the right. Now what I want to do is basically edit the properties of this trigger zone. So I'm going to right click to remove that trigger zone from my cursor. Either press N on my keyboard or click the toolbar item here to go into our entity editing mode. And now I'm just going to right click on my first trigger here. And basically what I want to do with this first trigger is open the first door. So there's a couple things that we need to do. Number one is we're going to have to change the script that this trigger zone uses. Currently right now all it's checking to see if the player is in the zone. It doesn't do anything currently if the player is in the zone, it just checks to see if he's in there. So what we're going to do on our main script here is click our load button, and what we want to use is player in zone activate use. So basically what this means is if the player is in the zone, it's going to activate the if used property of the zone. So we're going to go ahead and click on this FPS script and say open. Now this script comes by default with the program, so you don't have to worry about it. And underneath this if used property, I'm going to put door, just going to name this door 1. So what this means is once the player steps into this square here, door number 1 is going to be activated, basically which means it's going to open. So I'm going to apply changes, and I'm going to right click again on our second trigger zone, do the exact same thing here for the main script, and in the if used property I'm going to put door number 2. I'm just going to say apply changes. Now again, if I wanted to use one trigger zone to open both doors, I would just change the name of the second door to door 2, and then I could get rid of the second trigger zone. So what I'm going to do from here is I'm just going to save this for you so you can refer to it basically at a later time. So it's going to be doors underscore triggers. So you can load this level up and test it, or you can start playing around with the trigger zones. We'll definitely be covering a lot more of these trigger zones in some later chapters. That's it for now.